Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to my book corner. Half the year has gone, or pretty much at this point anyway. And normally this would be where I do a mid-year tag video, which thank you to Traben Tones, link below, for tagging me in that. Normally I would do that without hesitation, but I am doing a live stream on Monday where I go through all of my reads for the year, which is going to take a while because I think it will be 80 by then. And I'm going to be tier listing each of the books that I've read and talking a little bit about them. So I'll incorporate the tag into that, but I do appreciate you tagging me. Go check out his video as well. He covers normal books and manga as well in that video, so well worth checking out. But this is actually an announcement video, because July last year, I took part in my first ever themed month. My good friend Noah over at the Bookworm, or as it was at the time, Reading Between the Lines, was doing a horror month. And I've not read much horror, and I wanted to read more. So I dived in with him, and we coined the name for it as DontDieJuly, and we've decided to do it again this year. But we're not just going to do books. So what this video is, I'm going to talk about the 4 books that I'm going to be reviewing, the one buddy read I've got as well, and then on top of that, some of the other things that we're looking at hopefully doing for the month as well between the pair of us. And if any of you wish to join in, you are more than welcome. I know Kat over at the Ginger Bibliophile is potentially looking at least making a start on the brick that is it next month, which more than welcome. And I'm sure a few other people might pick up a horror book as well. So, what books am I looking at reading though? So in terms of books, I have 4 reviews planned. 3 of those are locked in. I'll talk about them in a minute. I also have a buddy read with Noah, and I'm going to talk about that one first. In terms of when we talk about this and how we talk about this, we haven't actually decided yet. I suppose a lot depends on when Noah reads it, because that's for suspicion I'll be reading it first. It's probable... Alright, so on to the books that are definitely going to be read by me at least. Noah's list, I presume he's going to do a video on at some point in the next week or so, or drop in a community post. I don't know if he's reduced down his long list of titles, because we both had very long list of books to get through this month. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a nice surprise, because I don't actually know what he's definitely reading yet, so that'll be fun. However, we are both reading this book. This is a horror sci-fi mystery book, and it is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. First came out in 2022 and is 343 pages long. I know Noah's already picked up another book by the author that has only just come out, which is, I think it's called Ghost Station. But we're reading this first. So, the synopsis for this one. A ghost ship. A salvage crew. Unspeakable horrors. Claire Kovalik is days away from being unemployed, made obsolete, when her beacon repair crew picks up a strange distress signal. With nothing to lose and no desire to return to Earth, Claire and her team decide to investigate. What they find at the other end of the signal is a shock. The Aurora, a famous luxury space liner that vanished on its maiden tour of the solar system more than 20 years ago. A salvage claim like this could set Claire and her crew up for life, but a quick trip through the ship reveals something isn't right. Whispers in the dark, flickers of movement, words scrawled in blood. Claire must fight to hold on to her sanity and find out what really happened to the ship before she and her crew meet the same ghastly fate. So, I don't know how we're going to talk about that book when we've finished it. I don't know if we're doing separate reviews, or we're doing a joint review, or we're doing a live discussion on it. We'll have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to that, though. I've not read a huge amount of sci-fi horror, interestingly enough. But that's the joint read. On to my review titles, then. On to the 4 books that I am reviewing then. And first off, only 3 of them are locked in right now. 2 of them were decided before the start of the month. One is has been decided already via a poll, and the last one, the poll is still up until some point on Thursday. So that's still ours to play for that one. The 4 titles that are in the running for that final review slot are Leech by Hiran Ennis, St. Juniper's Folly by Alex Crespo, Dark Across the Bay by Anya Alborn, and The Spirit Bares Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. So they're the 4 titles for the last review slot. Now, that being said, there's every chance I'm going to read all of them anyway and include them at my wrap-up at the end of the month. But the books that I am reviewing. So on to the ones that are locked in then. The first one has a little bit of a history with the channel. About a year ago, I viewed book 1 of this, and not long after, I saw a bit of a bump in subscribers for the first time. And that's because of the amazing MJ over at Reading This Life, who had seen my review of the title, and it's a book that she really enjoyed, and she featured my channel in her support small Booktube series that she does. That book was Psychic Teenage Bloodbath. It was my first ever splatterpunk novel that I read. It was an experience. And it wasn't a bad one. And then in December, when the pair of us were on book buying bans, we realised there was a new one that came out in December. So we're reading it. I'm reading it. I'm sure MJ will read it once she's finished her Read What You Own challenge. So this is Psychic Teenage Bloodbath 2. Once again, written by Carl John Lee. Came out in December. It's 222 pages long, and this is again splatterpunk horror. Your death will be beyond belief. It's been 10 years since the Clinton Memorial Hospital massacre. The town may have recovered, but for Charlie Bonner, the nightmare never ended. Trapped in an abusive relationship with Susan, her insane psychic ex-girlfriend, Charlie's life is a catalogue of misery and sadistic torture. She prays for death, but when it finally comes, Charlie realises her problems are only beginning. For Susan has followed her into the afterlife, crazed with vengeance. With the stage set for all-out war, Charlie must scour the darkest corners of her mind to find help before Susan destroys her forever. So that's going to be the book that I'm reading on my first reading sprint, which is on the 3rd of July, and will be my first review of the month. That should go up on the 6th. My thoughts on that one. I'm a bit nervous falling back in. I've read some splatterpunk since, and I think this is the book 1 of this was the best example of what I've seen. But it's graphic. So we're gonna see how I cope with stomaching this one. Next up is the first winner of the poll that I put up. This is Lost Boy, the true story of Captain Hook by Christina Henry. So this first came out in 2017 and is 292 pages long, and this is a fantasy horror retelling. It's also YA. So there is one version of my story that everyone knows, and then there is the truth. This is how it happened. How I went from being Peter Pan's first and favourite lost boy to his greatest enemy. Peter brought me to this island because there were no rules and no grown-ups to make us mind. He brought boys from other places to join in the fun. But Peter's idea of fun is sharper than a pirate's sword, because it's never all fun and games on the island. Our neighbours are pirates and monsters. Our toys are knives and stick and rock. The kinds of playthings that bite. Peter promised we would all be young and happy forever. Peter lies. So, anyone who's watched the channel a few times will know that I love folk tales and I love fairy tale retellings. I am very excited to get to that one. next up is the one I'm really excited for more than any of the others. This is the latest release from Chuck Tingle. So last year I read his first full-length horror novel, which was Camp Damascus. It made my top 10 books for the year. And he has another one out this year now. Tingle is better known for his Tingleverse novels, which are what I would describe as absurdist, wholesome erotica. But he has done a number of horror novels as well, Straight being his first horror novella, Camp Damascus, and then this one that comes out in July, Bury Your Gaze. So this is 304 pages. I think it releases on July the 9th, although I think it might be a couple of days later here in the UK. I'm really hoping I get this by the end of the month. According to Amazon, I am doing, but we'll see. So this is a LGBTQ plus horror, contemporary horror based around the film industry. Synopsis for this one. Misha is a jaded script writer who has been working in Hollywood for years and has just been nominated for his first Oscar. But when he's pressured by his producers to kill off a gay character in the upcoming season finale for the algorithm, Misha discovers that it's not that simple. As he is haunted by his past and past mistakes, Misha must risk everything to find a way to do what's right before it's too late. Very excited. The preview reviews have been very positive, so looking forward to that one. If for any reason that doesn't come on time, I will pivot and I will go with another film-based horror book, which will be Silver Nitrate by Silva Moreno Garcia, which I have not got the blurb for in front of me, but that would be the substitute if that doesn't come on time. So that covers the book plans, but what about everything else? So in case you weren't aware, both Noah and I both have Twitch channels. We both video game over on Twitch, although I don't do it particularly often. Noah does it far more often than me. And if you're interested in horror games, he plays them a lot and screams a lot. But we worked through the Dark Pictures anthology games last year, which went terribly because I'm bad at video games, and also deaf after I've been playing video games with Noah for a couple of hours because he screams so much. But there is another game by the creators called Supermassive Games, and that game is The Quarry, which is another narrative-based horror game where you both control different characters as you try and either figure out a mystery and survive at the same time. So the blurb is, when the sun goes down on the last night of summer camp, 9 teenage counsellors are plunged into an unpredictable night of horror. The only thing worse than the blood-drenched locals and creatures hunting them are the unimaginable choices you must make to help them survive. So we're going to be playing through that, and that's going to be absolute chaos. We may be doing some other horror game playthroughs. If you want me to stream on here, let me know in the comments down below if you don't want to watch on Twitch. I've not streamed video games on here before, but we can look at doing that. So we're planning on doing that as well, and we may also do some film talk as well, depending on how timing works out, because unfortunately we both have to work. So that's it. So that is the plans for Don't Die July. What I would like to know is, are you reading any horror books in the next month? And if so, what books are they? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will catch you all very soon.